Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So, big news did come out yesterday that Stewart Donald had officially resigned from his position as chairman. Now, before I do get into it and start discussing my thoughts on the whole thing, I'll read through the statement that did come out of the club yesterday. So it does read as follows. Sunderland AFC today announced that Stewart Donald has resigned from his position as chairman of the club. Speaking about the decision, Donald said, "Holding this position has been a privilege and not one I have given up lightly. Results and performances on the pitch have simply not been at a level befitting of Sunderland's history and potential. I fully recognise that has caused immense hurt and ultimately the buck for the club starting a third successive season in League One stops with me. To give the club the best chance of achieving its goals, I made the judgment that it is right for me to step back from the chairmanship in recent months. We have assembled a strong board with relevant experience and skill sets. As the majority stakeholder, my remaining responsibility is to ensure the club has the requisite financial backing to achieve its primary objective of promotion, and I can assure supporters that the club will continue to have the highest playing budget in the division. Otherwise, my intention remains to sell SAFC to a suitable new owner, and I remain personally committed to that goal. I would like to place on record my gratitude for the wonderful support that I have received since my arrival at the Stadium of Light. Without that support, the club would currently be facing a very uncertain future, as so many others are. Instead, starting from a position of relative financial stability, I hope that this moment will provide a springboard to the success that we all crave and SAFC fans deserve. SAFC's new chairman will be appointed following the club's next board meeting." So, a lot of people have been asking about me. I was a bit busy yesterday, so I couldn't really talk on the topic. And all in all, what does this mean? Very little, really, because Stewart Donald essentially stepped back. He took a massive step back from his more sort of hands-on approach with the club. He took that step back quite some time ago, a good few months ago, so it doesn't really mean much. It's just an official title describing why he has stepped back, because now he has officially resigned, if that makes sense. So for me, not a massive amount does change. It's, I've seen people celebrating all over the place, which, we don't want him at the club, but at the end of the day, he is still the owner. So whether he stepped back and resigned as a chairman or not, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, really, if we're going to be completely honest. And it does say that he's going to be appointing a new chairman come the next board meeting. So, my money's on is just going to give frigging Rodwell the chairmanship, and then that's pretty much it. Or at least someone with some experience from East Leigh might come in and take it over. But as I say, for me, this news, it means very little. It does mean very little, because nothing is going to change, really. We're going to get a new chairman in there, and it's essentially going to be, probably anyway, the kind of relationship that Ellis Short had with the club. He took a big step back, and a lot of the people run it whilst he signed off the cheques. The difference is Stewart Donald doesn't have the money to write these cheques. I know he does say he's going to back the club through this next transfer window. He says the club's still going to have the highest budget, yet maybe because we're paying the highest wages, probably that's why. We're still going to be doing free agents, which I've said in the past isn't necessarily a bad thing. But if we want to go up, we need to start spending money. That's the be-all and end-all of it. We have to spend money. And I have no confidence that Stewart Donald is going to be giving us efficient money, if that makes sense. So, for me, all in all, it means very little, personally, in my opinion. But there's been a bit more news in terms of takeovers. Now, there's a couple of things. So, Mickey Gray has spoke further. I've mentioned this in the previous video, last one I was discussing about the club. Mickey Gray has come out and said that he is trying his hardest. He said this on the radio a couple of days ago. He said that he's trying his hardest to assemble a consortium of sorts to approach the club to hopefully take over, or at least make a bid that Stewart Donald will look at. He hasn't managed to assemble the team or the consortium he wants as of yet, but he says that he is working tirelessly because he wants to see his club succeed. Do you know what I mean? He wants to save the club, which I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see, a Mickey Gray, someone who, of course, does love Sunderland. He loves the club. He knows the area. He lives in the area. Someone like him to spearhead a consortium, it makes sense, and it would be an ideal scenario. But like I've said before in the past, or at least in the last video, whether that will come to fruition, I don't know. But one more thing in terms of another potential buyer. So it has been it's been reported, and we're led to believe, and Wise Men Say podcast, I've discussed this as well in greater detail. Essentially, a local consortium kind of got together and have approached the club, or they did approach the club, and what they did is they offered pretty much everything Stewart had put into the club, but although we are led to believe that it could easily be even more, and Stewart Donald rejected that. So this notion that Stewart Donald's trying to go with, that he is simply he just wants to, break even. It's not about money. It's about the fans. It's about it's just about him getting out of the club, and he just wants his money back that he's put in. That's obviously, it's a lie, because if a local consortium, doesn't matter who it is, I prefer it be a local consortium anyway. If it is going to be a consortium of sorts, it's nice if it's someone from the area who understands the area. Like I said, similar with Mickey Gray, and they've basically offered exactly what he's paid into the club and a bit more, and it's been rejected. So he's saying that in the statement here that he's is going to continue to try and sell the club onto the right people for this price tag that he has put up, even though it is heavily inflated, like I've mentioned in my opinion. He's not. He's just not going to sell it. It doesn't look like he's going to, unless he's going to get a shit ton of money more than he has put into it. It's going to stay in the hands of Stewart Donald, and whether he's resigned as chairman or not, like I said earlier, he still owns the club. He's still the majority stakeholder of the club, and he's just putting on this front that he's trying to sell it. But he is becoming a huge hurdle for this club to be sold, a huge hurdle. So I just hope he does stick to his promise. He says that he's committed to selling the club. His actions just don't show that whatsoever. So I do hope, my main hope now, from all the rumours that are going around, my hope is that someone like a Mickey Gray does manage to get a consortium up and running and does approach Stewart, and Stewart eventually does accept an offer. But Mickey Gray has said that he has been in contact with the club, and the numbers that they have thrown back at him have been colossal. They've been massive, ridiculous. So I just hope that isn't too off-putting for someone like Mickey to completely give up on the idea of maybe getting a consortium together, because like I say, I would love to see that happen. I'd love to see that go through. But it looks like Stewart Donald is going to continuously outprice everyone who would be interested. So he is going to be the hurdle. He is going to be the block from getting this club sold, although he just try and paint the picture that he's trying his best to sell it. I just don't believe a word that the man says. But that's basically everything as of right now, guys. Stewart Donald has resigned. What does it mean? Very little in conclusion for me. It doesn't mean anything. I've seen celebrations, champagne bottles being popped on Twitter, and essentially it doesn't mean jack shit really. As long as he still owns the club, we're still in a lot of trouble, and he needs to accept an offer sooner or later. Otherwise, this club is going to die out, and that's a very, very serious threat. A very, very serious threat. So I'd just rather Stewart stop being so stubborn, stop outpricing everyone, do the right thing, and sell to someone who, yeah, of course, I don't want you to sell to anyone, but if there are local consortiums or people like Mickey Gray who do care about the club, that's visibly clear, then sell it, please. That's just, I'm begging, essentially. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about everything down below in the comments, and like the video if you have enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. That'd be massively appreciated. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.